Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron. It is player ratings time then. Everton 4, Brentford 1 at Goodison Park. Frank Lampard's first win as Everton manager, and what a win it was, what a performance. That is Everton. That's the Everton Football Club that we all know and love. That's the type of performance that we want to see. That's the type of football we want to see at Goodison Park. What a result, what a win. Frankie says up the toffees. Absolutely brilliant today. And we're in the hat for the next round as well. Let's not forget, this win means so much for me. Or can mean so much in the grand scheme of the Premier League, dependent on the next couple of weeks or so. We sat yesterday and said about how important it could be to go out there and get a result today and put in a good performance because of the confidence and the momentum that could give to the upcoming fixtures. Obviously, we've got two absolute must-wins against Newcastle and Leeds coming up in the Premier League, and this game was always going to be one that was going to be tricky, but one that A, we absolutely had to win, and B, if we could do that in a comfortable manner and give ourselves a little bit of confidence and momentum going into those two difficult Premier League fixtures, then that is exactly what we should be doing, and that's exactly what we did today. A really good performance. Could have been 5, 6, 7, had a couple of the chances in the first half where they've gone into the back of the net, and had we have had a little bit more quality there, but you know, a 4-1 win at Goodison Park, you know, we haven't seen one of them for a long time, have we? So we can't really complain. We can't really, you know, have our cake and eat it. We wanted a win today. We wanted the comfortable performance. We wanted to feel like this was Everton Football Club, and that's exactly what it was today. We have just done the instant match reaction, so if you haven't checked that out, then please do so after this live stream. This is the player ratings, of course. We're going to go through every single player that played in today's game and rate them from a score of 1 to 10. There'll be a lot of high scorers today. I will give you that to start with. And yeah, let's get straight into it. As I said, you know, we have done the instant match reaction if you want to check that out later, but let's get straight into this anyway. Jordan Pickford in goal then. I'm going to give Jordan a 6 today. Didn't have an awful lot to do, you know, in the grand scheme of things. I think he had one save to make in the first half, and he made it pretty comfortably. I actually don't think Brentford were particularly good today. You know, we spoke in the week about Brentford being a difficult team to beat, and, you know, certainly a team that, you know, have got some quality in there in the likes of Ivan Toney, Sergi Canos, other players as well. But I think Brentford are a side that are much better at home than what they are away from home. They've proven that, I think, on a number of occasions this season. They were brilliant against Liverpool at their home ground, brilliant against Arsenal on the opening day as well. But I think they struggled today, and they didn't really have a lot of opportunities. They didn't really have a lot of chances, as I said. They had one shot on goal, which was I can remember in the first half, which Jordan you would expect to save 9 times out of 10, and they had a couple of opportunities where they played the ball round the back of our defence, and our defence was caught out, and something that we can't you know, we can't always rely on. But as I said, they didn't really have much. They didn't put Jordan Pickford under much pressure at all today. The penalty, I haven't watched it back. I'm not particularly bothered about it now because we've won the game, and as I said, very rarely do Everton win games of football these days, so I'm not really that interested about the penalty. I do think Ivan Toney dives. Whether or not there's contact or not, I still think you can sit here and say it's a dive. You know, as we know in this day and age in football, if a tiny bit of the fabric on a goalkeeper's glove merely brushes the attacker's sock, then it's a penalty. There doesn't need to be any contact whatsoever. He goes down very easily. But should Jordan be leaving his arms out there? He's obviously leaving that. You know, that decision to Ivan Toney. He was always going to throw himself on the floor when he saw Jordan Pickford's arms there, and especially given that the worst referee in the world was refereeing this game of football. I don't know what people see in Michael Oliver. I see some pundits and stuff saying he's one of the best referees in the world. He is awful, that fella. He's absolutely dreadful. He is shocking. It was always going to be given. So, you know, as I said, he didn't have an awful lot to do, Jordan. The penalty was a mistake that he doesn't usually make, but one that, you know, sometimes you can't afford. Luckily enough today we picked ourselves back up and we went again, and we were absolutely brilliant after the goal conceded. But like I said, I'll probably say it was a mistake from Jordan. So he's getting a 6. Other than that, he didn't really have an awful lot to do, so he wouldn't be getting a particularly high score anyway because he didn't really do much. But I think the penalty was probably one that we could have avoided. But as I said, there was absolutely no contact whatsoever. Let's be honest, there was no. 5 years ago, it would never have been given. never have been given. And maybe that's, that maybe you can sort of get behind Jordan in that sense, is that it wasn't like he come out and completely flattened them and you're thinking, what are you doing? It was a nonsense rule, but it was always going to get given, wasn't it? But yeah, Jordan is getting a 6 for that. Left back then, Vitaly Mykolenko. I'm actually going to give Vitaly Mykolenko a 7.5 today. Thought he was very, very, very good. Thought he looked calm, cool, collected on the ball. Defensively, he was absolutely sound. Didn't put a foot wrong, didn't do anything wrong, didn't put us under any unnecessary pressure, didn't make any unnecessary back passes that you're looking at thinking, oh my God, what have you done that for? He didn't put a foot wrong today, Vitaly Mykolenko. Would have liked to have seen him a little bit more going forward. Would have liked to have seen his ability to cross the ball and get the ball into the box and all of that sort of stuff. But, at the end of the day, we had Damari Gray, we had Anthony Gordon on there, we had Richarlison on there, all trying to create chances. So maybe Frank Lampard's message to Mykolenko was more just, if you can get forward, but if you can't, focus on your defensive duties. He did get forward a couple of times in that first half, right by me in the park end. But, instead of putting the ball into the box, he was sort of manoeuvring it round and playing some lovely passes, which I've got no big problem with. Sometimes lashing a cross into the box when there's nobody there to get on the end of it isn't the right decision. Sometimes playing nice little 1-2 passes. And as I said in the instant match reaction, we saw a side of Everton today that we haven't seen in a long, long time. And that was a confident team playing nice 1-2 passes and playing like nice football, not just lumping the ball up and hitting and hoping. We were playing nice football. We were moving the ball around. We were actually trying to create opportunities for ourselves. And as I said, I thought Mykolenko was really, really solid today, and that's why he gets a 7.5. Wasn't anything magnificent, but considering the lad has come under a little bit of pressure and a little bit of criticism in the last week, I thought he was absolutely sound today. And as I said, this is what happens when you give a lad a little bit of time to settle in, a little bit of time to get his head down, a little bit of time to focus on the league and understand what you can and can't get away with and how you need to, play and how you don't need to play. He was absolutely sound today, Mykolenko, and he's getting a 7.5. We'll start with Ben Godfrey then. I'm going to give Ben a 6. Obviously, he didn't last very long. Did he come off in, the 20th minute? Something like that. For Yerry Mina. Actually don't know the exact time, but he come off within the opening 15-20 minutes for Yerry Mina with what looked like a hamstring injury or a groin injury. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. We have just had an update from Phil Kirkbride of The Echo, who tweeted out about 5 or 10 minutes ago that he did leave Goodison Park on crutches this afternoon, which isn't good, but isn't surprising given the type of injury that it was and the way in which he went down, let's be honest. And probably wasn't helped by the fact that he had to walk off the fucking pitch. Where's the medical staff? Where's the stretcher? I remember at Goodison Park where a player would go down, after being touched in the back, and they'd be ready to run on the pitch with the stretcher. Now a lad's gone down, potentially pulling a hamstring or hopefully not worse, but maybe worse, and he's having to walk himself off the pitch. It was baffling. But anyway, as I said, no surprise that he's on crutches. All as we can hope is that that's just a precautionary measure to help him get around and to help him walk for the time being, and that there's nothing more, about that. And hopefully Ben Godfrey can, get himself back to fitness as soon as possible. But it didn't look great, and as I said, whilst he was on the pitch, didn't really put a foot wrong, did he? Made a couple of nice interceptions, made a good run down the left-hand side, and completely took Brentford's midfield out the game at one point, but never really had an awful lot of the ball, and as I said, wasn't on the pitch long enough to give a real score. But hopefully he can recover quick, and obviously we wish him the very, very best in his recovery, and he'll be gutted today, Ben Godfrey, because he'll want to be a part of the next couple of weeks. He'll want to be a part of this new beginning for the football club, and he'll want to play under Frank Lampard. He's a young player himself, so he'll want to thrive, he'll want to improve, he'll want to impress, and unfortunately it's disappointing that it ended quickly for Ben Godfrey today. But whilst he was on the pitch, I don't really think he really put too much of a foot wrong. Michael Keane next to him then. I'm going to give Michael Keane a 7. Thought he was relatively solid today. Now, given that, some of Michael Keane's recent performances have been potentially in the minuses, I thought today was a pleasant change. Now, some people will say, Campbell, there was a moment where he misplaced 3 or 4 passes in the space of 5 minutes. Or some people will say, Campbell, Brentford played the ball around the back of us, a couple of times, and it could have, resulted in a goal, and it did. There was a couple of moments, especially in that second half, where Brentford moved the ball around our back line far too easily. One of them resulted in the penalty. There was another one where one ball, completely destroyed the entirety of the defence. And there was another one where I think Holgate sold himself. Keane just stood there and let the ball go past him. And then Mina sold himself. And luckily for us, Brentford couldn't create anything from it. But in a general sense of the entire game and defensively and on the ball and doing what he needed to do, I think we can give Michael Keane the benefit of the doubt today and said that he was okay, put a decent performance in. Again, worked hard, battled, intercepted the ball a couple of times as well. Yes, there was a couple of moments where it was a little bit shaky, but there was also a couple of moments where he got in there, he nipped in there, and he won the ball back in really important areas, which is good as well. And yeah, as I said, that performance today will do a lot for his confidence. Not necessarily because individually he was brilliant, but a result like that, a performance like that, a win like that will do an awful lot for the confidence of a player like Michael Keane, who, let's be honest, has been struggling recently, because he has been struggling recently with confidence. He's been struggling recently with, again, his performances and how he plays and what he brings to the team. So to go out there and be a part of such a convincing win, such a good performance, for me, will do him the absolute world of good. So he is getting a 7. Mason Holgate next to him. Mason can get a 7.5. I actually was quite impressed by Mason Holgate today. Listen, again, a couple of moments where, he was bypassed far too easily and defensively he struggled. But, as I said in the instant match reaction, Frank Lampard isn't a magician. He was never going to come in, click his fingers, and all of a sudden these defenders were going to turn into prime fucking Barcelona in 2008. These defenders are, for the most part, not good enough. Certainly a number of them, and haven't been good enough for a while. So, when you see them making silly mistakes, or when you see them being bypassed and Brentford being able to play the ball around far too easily, it's no surprise, and that's nothing down to the manager. That's just because these players aren't aware of that, or they're not good enough to be aware of that. But in terms of a Mason Holgate performance, thought he was very good today. Scored, obviously, which was great to see. Really good knock-on by Yerry Mina, and a good header, good reactionary header on the back post as well. He saw it late and he got his head on the end of it and he turned it in. And again, in the same sense as what I said about Michael Keane, that performance will give Mason Holgate an awful lot of confidence going into the next couple of games. Now, it's important that Mason keeps that confidence at confidence and doesn't let it turn into arrogance, which he's been susceptible to do in recent years, i.e. get a little bit too overconfident. He did try a couple of the old Cruyff turns and he got away with them today. He got away with them against the Brentford side, who weren't very good. He won't get away with them against better teams, so he needs to be aware of when not are the right times to do those little turns, especially when he's near in his own box. But, again, as performances go, and as performances for Mason Holgate go, I thought he played well today. Got his goal, which will do him the world of good. Defensively, he was solid. Got it in the way of a couple of crosses into the box as well, which were important. And yeah, as I said, made himself a nuisance, and I thought he played well today, so we can get a 7.5. And then Seamus Coleman, I'm actually going to give Seamus an 8 today. I thought it was the best game Seamus Coleman's played in an Everton shirt for a while. Again, similar to Vitaly Mykolenko, going forward, there wasn't an awful lot there. I think he was a little bit more sort of progressive than Mykolenko. Thought he put a couple of good crosses into the box. Thought he moved well in the box as well on a couple of times. And it was one time where you were thinking he's going to pull the trigger here, he's going to have a shot, and he didn't. He dilly-dally with it a little bit too much. But defensively, he was absolutely sound. He was really, really good on the ball. He held the ball up well. There was a couple of times that he was put into a bit of a pressured situation, and he done really well with it. He sorted his feet out. He dealt with the situation. And as I said, it was a solid performance by Seamus Coleman today. It was a professional performance. It was the type of performance you would expect from Seamus. Now, unfortunately, in recent weeks and months, we haven't really seen that type of performance from Seamus. He's made silly mistakes. He's done things that you sort of look and thinking, you shouldn't be doing that. You're too good to make those mistakes. You're too experienced to make those mistakes. Whereas today, he didn't do any of that. He was really solid. Thought he was a good role model for the rest of the defence and sort of, he led by example. He worked hard. He battled. He threw himself into challenges when he needed to. He won the ball back when he needed to. And it was just a really solid performance today by Mason, by Seamus Coleman, and as I said, is best in an Everton shirt for me for probably years. If we're being perfectly honest with you, probably years. So yeah, again, really good performance by Seamus, and he's getting an 8 today. Into the midfield then, Andre Gomez. I'm going to give Andre Gomez a 7.5 as well. Worked his arse off today. Absolutely worked his arse off today. Andre Gomez. I'm getting mixed up with all of the players. Got about the pitch, battled, worked hard, won the ball back in a couple of areas, in really dangerous areas. Had a shot in the first half, which very nearly troubled the goalkeeper. I was sat right behind it, and the goalkeeper had to take an extra little step to his right to make sure he got on the, he got a touch to it. But again, first half I thought defensively he got caught a couple of times in terms of ball watching and is in doing those defensive duties. But for the most part, I thought he played really well. I did. I thought he worked hard. I thought he got the ball. He moved it well. And as I said, I thought he had one of his better games in an Everton shirt today, and yes, that may be because of the confidence of the new manager and the bounce of the new manager and this, that, and the other, and I understand that completely. But again, you can only sort of judge what you can look off. Lewis thinks he should get at least an 8.5. Fair enough. I'm going to give him an 8, because as I said, I think he was solid today. His feet, some of his feet. Midwest believes 8.5 as well. Do you know what? I'll give him an 8.5 then. Sound. I'll give him an 8.5. Yeah, I thought some of the footwork today was amazing by Andre Gomez, showing his quality, and we know that. Even when Andre Gomez has a bad game, we know that. He typically is a fantastic technical footballer, because he is a fantastic technical footballer. We can criticise his movement, we can criticise his pace, we can criticise his defensive ability or whatever. But in terms of being a technical footballer and with the ball at his feet, he's very good, and he always has been, and he showed that today. Couple of really nice movements with the ball, got himself out of dangerous situations, and as I said, I was really impressed by him today. 8.5. Alan's getting a 9. Alan's getting a 9 today. Best performance Alan has put in an Everton shirt for a while as well, to be perfectly honest with you. Again, considering he didn't have that, Abdoulaye Doucouré next to him, and he didn't have that natural sort of quick, physical, mobile centre midfielder next to him, I actually thought he done really well today, Alan. Won the ball back a couple of times in dangerous areas, moved it really well. Again, his feet were unbelievable. Technically, Alan is a much better footballer than I think people give him credit for. Yes, you can criticise his energy or his pace or his I suppose his athleticism in this league. You can criticise all of that, and I understand all of that, but I think sometimes I see people criticising him his technical ability, and I think I don't really know whether it's just me who watches a different game of football, but I actually think Alan technically is a really good player. I do, and in those tight situations when he's got the ball and he's got to get himself out of those situations, and he's got to move and he's got to work the ball round. I think he does really well in those situations, and he did today. Did really well on a number of times. I thought he was really solid, so he's getting a 9. Onto the forward line then, Demarai Gray. Demarai Gray is getting a 7.5. Worked his arse off today. Demarai Gray worked really hard, battled, fought. And absolutely got himself about, tried to create chances, was unlucky to maybe not score, was unlucky to not, again, get on the end of one of those balls into the box or one of those crosses. You can see he was desperate to score. He was trying to, have shots from 20-odd yards, trying to curl him into the top corner, trying to manoeuvre his way into the box, and you can tell how desperate Demarai Gray is to score goals. You can tell how desperate he is to be involved, and, I thought his work rate today was impeccable. He got about, done well, he moved the ball well, he won a couple of fouls in dangerous areas as well. He's just boss, isn't he, Demarai Gray? He's absolutely boss. I mean, there's nothing much more we can sit here and say that he was amazing. He was. Midwest believes he deserves better than a 7. I just think in Demarai Gray, I've given him a 7.5, to be fair. I just think in his terms, maybe a goal and would have boosted that. In fact, you know what? You can get an 8. Get an 8 because he got an assist for Mina, didn't he? I forgot about that. He's getting an 8 for the assist for Mina. Really good ball into the box. And yeah, again, the type of performance that we've come to expect from Demarai Gray. Hard work, battling, but also He's that player that I think opposition teams will pinpoint before playing Everton and think, that's the danger man there. And therefore, they send 2 or 3 players to go over and mark him. And therefore, that allows the space for Richarlison to get into or Anthony Gordon to work through. And a lot has to be said about that. I thought he played really, really well today, Damari Gray. Richarlison is getting an 8.5. Really, really nice finish. For the second goal. Yes, the goalkeeper does run out to buy a sandwich just after half time. I think he thought that the game hadn't kicked off and he was still going for the piss. But Richarlison, to see that situation, to see that danger, and to take it first time was a fantastic goal, fantastic finish. And again, Richie today was what we know Richie to be: working hard, getting about the pitch, battling, throwing himself about, creating chances. Again, having shots on goal. Should have got one in the first half in front of us at the park end where the ball was chipped into him by Gray and he volleyed it into the stand instead of just putting it into the back of the net. But again, we'll let him off because it's Richarlison and we love him. But he got that goal, which was important. In the end. And as I said, work rate impeccable, can't fault it. You never can fault it with Richarlison. I don't think I've ever sat here on a video and said, oh, Richarlison didn't work hard today, he didn't want it, he didn't care. Even when we lose, even when we play poorly, Richarlison has always given everything, he's always given us all. Louis says, got to shoot off, nice one, Cam, lad. Cheers, mate. Kevin says, I've got to get me scan. Cheers, Cam. Cheers, Blues. Come on, you Blues, win for Tuesday. Yes, absolutely. Nice one, Kev. But yeah, as I said, that hard work, that determination, that battle, that desire, that fight, that has come to be and sort of expectancy with Richarlison, because that's what he brings every week. And I thought he was great, so he's getting a 9 out of 10. And then Anthony Gordon is going to get a 10 out of 10 for me today. Now, that is rare for the player who didn't score or didn't get an assist. But I think, as I said in the instant match reaction, Anthony Gordon's performance today should be a performance that Frank Lampard says to every single one of those players. If you're not going to score or you're not going to assist, that's the way you need to play. You need to battle, you need to fight, you need to show determination, you need to press, you need to get at the opposition, you need to force them into making mistakes, you need to work hard, you need to throw the challenges in, you need to battle. Anthony Gordon was impeccable today. Absolutely impeccable. He was amazing. Even without a goal and an assist, he was faultless. The hard work, the determination, but it's not just working hard with Anthony Gordon. It's not just like we're sitting here going, oh yeah, he runs around, he works hard, he cares, he has a go. Because we've watched players over the years who've done that, who you can only applaud because that's what we want to see. But quality-wise, they've not been very good. Quality-wise, you've looked at them and go, well, he worked hard and he battled, but they're not very good. That's not what Anthony Gordon is. As I said, Anthony Gordon is fastly becoming a seasoned Premier League footballer, in the sense that he's not just coming on thinking, I need to score a worldie here, I need to rifle one into the top corner, or I haven't had a good game. He's doing the right things. He's winning the ball, he's holding it up, he's winning fouls when he needs to, he's spinning players, he's using his body in the right areas, he's using his pace and his burst of pace when he needs to, he's getting shots off on goal, he's finding the right passes. He was just impeccable today. Absolutely impeccable. And as I said, for me, he gets a 10 out of 10, which is very, very rare for a player who hadn't scored or assisted, but that's what he's getting today. He's getting a 10 out of 10. Yeah, there you go. Let us know if you disagree. Onto the bench then. Let's have a look at the substitutions. John Joe Kenny. John Joe can get a 6.5 today. Solid when he come on. Absolutely no problem with John Joe when he come on. Defensively done well. Headed the ball back a couple of times to Jordan Pickford. Just shored everything up. Made sure everything was safe. Didn't really have to do anything that was overly unbelievable, but the little bits of that he had to do, the easy things, he done well. Ultimately, that's all we can ask for. So, John Joe Kenny can get a 6.5. Yerry Mina's getting a 9 again today. In fact, no, he's getting a 9.5. Obviously, he come on for Ben Godfrey. When Ben, went off injured. Not only did he get a goal today, Yerry Mina, which was a rifling header into the back of the net, absolutely unbelievable header. He got an assist, which was really, really good to see as well. A goal and assist for Yerry Mina. His XG must be through the fucking roof at the minute, through the roof. But defensively, as we know, we look so much better with Yerry Mina on the pitch. Defensively, we look so much more solid. We look more compact. We just look much better when Yerry Mina's on the pitch as to when he's not on the pitch. And again today, getting in the ear of Ivan Toney, not letting Ivan Toney run the game, not letting him throw himself on the floor, you know, screaming at him to get up. Just exactly the type of performance that we know Yerry Mina brings. But that has become so important to Everton. So yeah, Yerry Mina's getting a 9.5 today again. Very, very, very faultless. And I'd almost give him a 10, but I think Anthony Gordon deserves that man of the match. If you could hit that like button, by the way, that'd be amazing. 250 people watching. If you could get the likes up, that'd be brilliant. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Anzos Townsend's going to get an 8 today. Look, ultimately, he come off the bench. He worked hard and he scored. And that's all Frank Lampard will have asked of him. Go on, work hard, put them under pressure, and go and make a difference. And that's what he did. Obviously, we were already winning the game, and the game was already won at that point. But he went on. He got an opportunity. He got a couple of chances. Actually, he got one where he had a shot and it was saved by the goalkeeper. I actually think for Anzos Townsend's quality, he should have done better. But then he made up for it. Didn't give up on it. Didn't, drop his head and think, oh, that was my chance. I'm not going to get another one now. He got up. He worked hard. Really nice flick by Alex Iwobi, and he gets his shot off and he gets his goal, which was great to see as well. A substitute coming on and having an a positive impact in the game, which was brilliant for Anzos Townsend. Who else have we got to on the bench? Cenk Tosun. Cenk can get a 6, I suppose. Come on. Ran around a bit. Again, didn't really do much, but what he did do, he done well. Worked hard. I think he got a pre-assist for Townsend's goal, which is good. And yeah, done all right. Let's be honest, he shouldn't be at the club, should he? But he come on and he done all right. And then Alex Iwobi is going to get a 7 today. He's going to get a 7 because he come on. And I know we've got a pre-existing thought on Alex Iwobi and that he's not good enough and he needs to leave and this, that and the other. But he got an assist for Townsend's goal and it was a really, really good flick. A really, really good flick. It was. I've given Gomez an 8.5, didn't I? I gave him an 8.5. Really, really good flick. And he for the 5 minutes that he was on, 6 minutes that he was on, whatever, he ran round. He looked like he wanted to get involved. He looked like he was interested. And technically, again, he got an assist. So yeah, good performance by Alex Iwobi. And then Frank Lampard. Frank's getting a 10 out of 10 because I haven't felt that good watching Everton in a long time. I really, really haven't. That's all you want to see from Everton. Hard work, good football, ideas, forward thinking, fast football, creating chances, scoring goals, and us being able to get behind the manager, get behind the team, get behind a group of players. And this is still an Everton team without Abdoulaye Doucouré, without Dominic Calvert-Lewin, without Dele Alli, without Donny van de Beek. So there's a lot to be added to this Everton team. For me, it was great today. Midwester says Cam 10 out of 10. Thank you very much, my mate. Semi says Townsend's work rate is massive. Jay says brilliant feeling around the club again. Yeah, we shall not be moved, says George's son is right. Paddy says great stuff, Cam. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of the weekend. Absolutely buzzing after that. Up the toffee. See you in the next one. Is right. Cam 11 out of 10 says the Ingu. Thank you very much. There you go then. We are going to finish it up there. Then if you have enjoyed this one, please hit that like button. It does only take a second. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. As I said, go and check out the instant match reaction that is currently on the channel now. We give a more in-depth discussion on the game itself and overall just how we're all feeling after that. But what a result, what a win. Let us know your thoughts on the play ratings. Big thanks to everybody for getting involved in the live comments. If you're watching this as a YouTube video, get your thoughts down below and we'll get involved with as many of them as possible. But massive win, massive result, perfect start for Frank Lampard. We can all now go and enjoy our weekend, can't we? Everton haven't ruined the weekend, which is something we haven't been able to say other than in the international breaks for a long time. So massive thank you all for watching. Really do appreciate it. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Up the toffees. Get in. And we'll see you later.